These buildings right there reminds me with gentrification.
What gentrification? No, man, this is not a gentrification.
Maybe not gentrification, let's call it elite urbanization or something.
What? Elite urbanization? Man, come on, like I don't see elite urbanization. I mean, okay, these buildings are a little bit fancier than affordable housing, but it's like, and yeah, over there you have like these shops for electricity cars that are targeting the upper middle classes, but yeah, over there you have these also grocery stores that are actually a bit more fancier, just to keep, you know, the junkies and druggies away. But other than that, and yes, there is the canal over here, so it's very nice to have terrace with a view on the canal, because it's kind of guarantee that there is not going to be another building obstructing your view. But other than that, I don't see a little urbanization here, man. It's like, it's pretty fine to me. I don't know.
Man, you just have mentioned all aspects and objects in elite urbanization. Tomorrow, what's missing is actually yachts coming tomorrow to dock right here.
Well, you know what? Yachts docking here, it's not a bad idea, actually. Thank you for that. Actually, I have to talk about this with my friends from the yacht club. Huh.
Wait, are you in the yacht clubs?
Yeah. I mean, I have a little boat, something. We're like coming to here to Brussels with the boat, but yeah, nothing strange about it. Like what?
So actually, you are part of the elite bubble.
What? Elite bubble? Man, look, just across the canal, there is a low-income neighborhood. So I live right next to it. This is not elite bubble, man.
Snap. That's actually gentrification.
Oh, shit. You are watching Stripping Architecture, and today, with our dear guest and expert Steven van Johnson, we're going to strip the architecture along the canal in Brussels, and we're going to reveal a strategy, a plan, how to create perfect gentrification. Gentrification that cannot be recognized by anyone, and you can maximize your profits. Pay closer attention, because if you know how to do perfect gentrification, you can work for some rich developer and you can have bright future. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, so as mentioned before, I'm Steven van Johnson, actually the owner of the real estate company Shiny Green Fields for a better smile. I think you like it. However, so as mentioned before, this plan for perfect gentrification is consisted out of 8 crucial points, so pay close attention. Ignored location, police station, touristification, small businesses, housing, the old glory, business hub, ultimate old glory. Alright, so step number 1, ignored location. What you have to do is you have to find some city urban location with relatively low real estate value. It will be perfect if it's in proximity to the city center or some important urban entity. Most likely you will find this in some former industrial area or some brownfield or some neighborhood that is inhabited by working class and of course migrants. One very good example to illustrate this is this over here, actually the northern part of the canal next to the city center of Brussels. This is the edge of this municipality known as Molenbeek, and it was former industrial zone with multiple generations of working class and of course relatively low real estate value. So step number 2, police station. The second thing what you have to do is actually you have to make a big police station or to find an existing one in this ignored area, and you have to refurbish it, to renovate it. So with this thing you will justify the thing that it's very important to have public safety in the neighborhood. And of course, if someone is against the police station, means that you're against the public safety, and of course you don't want to do that, right? I mean, actually the fact is that most likely upper middle class people are daring and encouraged to call the police station, and the police is more responsive only to upper white middle class people, but don't worry about it. You have to establish safety, and you have to make this police station as the flagship of public safety. Actually, the same thing was followed along the canal in Brussels, where this police station was refurbished and renovated a long time before any other development or improvement was introduced here. Very smart, right? Of course, that's how you become expert. Step number 3, touristification. What you have to do over here is that you have to find some building in the neighborhood that is ignored, and you have to convert this building in the function of the service industry. For example, a hotel. you will justify this investment by saying that it's always nice to have some external influx of money that will be operated by the local dynamics, of course. Now, another thing very important is to introduce some kind of museum or art spaces, because you will justify this by saying that there is always artists in need of affordable places to make their art and to exhibit this art. And of course, we all love great piece of art, right? Of course. However, just to let you know that exactly this pattern is being followed by the canal in Brussels, where this nice, interesting old brewery and beer factory has been refurbished and converted into a hotel with a museum. So after you have conducted touristification, which is actually a very genuine move, people will love it, you will start seeing different kind of small businesses popping around this hotel and museums. So here comes the step number 4, support the small businesses. Regardless if these businesses are existing or new one that just want to take advantage of the new momentum, or if they are like owned from poor or rich people, you have to support these businesses, claiming that small businesses are the backbone of our economy and liberal neo-democracy. So with these things, you will actually earn the sympathies from the local dynamics and the people around. And this same is happening along the canal in Brussels, where right next to the hotel we have different kind of little shops, restaurants and bars popping out, and actually they're offering very nice services, and this is one of my favorite, and very good food and very good drinks. Maybe you should grab some coffee. So after you endorse the small businesses, you might be under suspicions that you are actually conducting gentrification. Well, you know what? Don't worry about it. That's a good thing. That means that you have the attention, and all you have to do is just to divert the attention towards a positive topic. And what can be more positive than the step number 5? Housing. Of course, you will have to start build more housing. Housing. And how you will justify this? You will claim that building more housing is actually inducing the market and reducing the housing prices, and you're actually fighting against housing crisis, which is actually not true, but that's complex to explain how it's not true, and you will just have to keep the positive story going on. So housing. And that's exactly what's happening around the canal. You have plenty of housing just being built sporadically everywhere around. Now, for who this housing is, that's a subject for some other time. So after you're building a lot of housing, there will be some serious accusation that you're actually conducting gentrification, and this will come from the NGOs. And that's a bit tricky, but don't worry about anything. At this moment, you have the money spinning, and you just have to keep drilling the finances. So what you're gonna do now? You're gonna actually have to find some old building from the neighborhood that represents the local identity, okay? So you will actually renovate this building, and you will say that we will re-establish the old glory from this building. Then you're gonna also say that, you know, now is the time to take the momentum of the construction site and benefit from the time and the infrastructure and the logistics and develop more. Guess what? Housing for cheaper prices, baby. And this is exactly what is happening along the canal in Brussels, where we have this beautiful old building, Tour and Taxi, that has been converted into beautiful business hub, and there are additional sets of housing units being developed around this one. Perfect, Johnny. And here we come to the step number 7. So after you have converted and renovated this beautiful old glory, like the basic function that you have to introduce inside is actually a business hub. When you're gonna make this beautiful business hub, what you're gonna do? You will invite all the local businesses to come to the new business hub. Actually, they will have to sell their existing properties and come to the new commercial spaces. You will tell them we have better internet, better spaces, better infrastructure, and much more better, closer network that can guarantee you success. After local businesses will sell their properties, you will have vacuum of real estate. And guess what you have to do now? All in, baby. You have to buy them out, and you have to turn them into housing, of course, housing. So that's actually what is happening along the canal in Brussels, where here there used to be one commercial space, and this commercial space moved into the renovated building of the old glory, and now here we'll have another housing project. It will be very nice with shiny windows. And finally we come to the last step, ultimate old glory. Now that you have acquired all the real estate vacuum and you have redeveloped new housing, you will be under serious accusations for gentrification, maybe from the government and maybe from some local news agencies. But you're at the end of the game right now. So what you have to do is to make the final diversion. You have to find some old building and conduct the ultimate old glory. Find that old building that has national identity, okay? And make it converted into a great building that will bring such a great potential for the international audience. And you will re-establish this building as the new future. And if you're against this, you're against the national identity. And watch out, you might be accused for a traitor, an anti-patriot. So that's exactly what is happening over here in Brussels. After all these different developments and conduction of gentrification, they are actually renovating this magnificent building over here in the biggest Pompidou Museum for Art. Now people can come and just say, you know what, you're actually a gentrifier. Well, you know what, I don't care, because I'm doing this for the better of the humanity. And actually, I'm the one who is taking actions and offering solutions, not just someone who is criticizing. So there you go, you just maximize the profits, you conducted a perfect gentrification, and people can just rumble around you, but things are done, my friend. Now I go swim a little bit.
After this long preaching from Mr. Steven van Gentrification about gentrification, we will move to the reflection sketch. In this sketch, we see in the middle of it an odd building topped by an elephant. This building is surrounded by a lot of construction sites. Well, actually, exactly this is the reflection of gentrification, a massive divergent game. Anyway, did you know that Brussels has a very strong tool for combating the gentrification back? It's called neighborhood contracts. Well, actually, next episode we will be exploring this process and in details with all kind of dynamics around in Brussels. Thanks again for watching this episode. So please don't forget to follow these videos, subscribe, like, share, comment, and don't forget again to buy our nice book, The Urban Revolution is a Fine Sketch. Please inscribe in our Patreon and stay tuned.